Okay, were you the first? No, it's probably alphabetical. So sometimes you could, in the past, you could. If you would just be working from the pattern, you would be making a branch with birds on it. But if you want to make, I'm going to discuss later on, whether you want to have the tree hanging up now. So to get back to how I construct this.
Yeah, so I painted it and dyed it.
Beautiful.
I made them all kind of alike, so that's the goal.
Yeah, there was 4 seasons.
Yeah, the one I did in class was, let's see.
But see, actually, I was everyone to because after lunch we're going to talk about the different ways or how to put leaves on your tree.
Yes.
And this is one of the ways. So I'm going to show you. So the way this was done, see all these little leaves? What we do is you just have a piece of green fabric and you put your iron bonder under to the wrong side of it. You dip it and put that on. In fact, instead of using a green fabric, you can use a pink fabric and then you have this beautiful blossom.
Spring.
It was spring, and then this one was the fall, and then that one was the winter, the snow. Yeah, and then we did the trees in every season. It's beautiful.
So mine.
Okay.
But you can see there wasn't really much that I needed to do. It was mainly the fabric.
Well, no, you did a lot. It's just like, wow.
It'll do what I want.
Exactly, isn't that?
That is amazing.
Well, I used to be a painter, I didn't mean this for hobby, but painting. And then you always have to start with a white canvas. And here we
Beautiful.
I have a YouTube channel.
Yes, I do.
What do I press then?
Oh, yeah. Oh, you know what? We're right in front of this.
Oh, that's a good. Yeah, come here. Right in front.
Do I press some button? Going on now?
Yep, it's going.
Oh.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Quilto bingo.
It's called Seven Sisters, and it's from about 1880, and it's really nice, soft. You love it?
Yeah. We're amateurs.
Where did you go? Oh, we need help. We need help. We need help. These girls need a lot of help. And you know what? I see another tall gentleman down there. Can I beg of you your help also, sir? Is he coming?
Glasses come off.
What did he say? You guys go sit over there.
Well, it's better to have a good looking man up here. That's not free.
All right, girls. Got it? Okay. You guys can go down there. Okay. Then this is the new one. No, you don't. There you go. Go ahead, guys. Does anybody have a camera on their phone? Could you guys take some pictures of this, because this is fabulous. Okay, so this is called Seven Starry Sisters, and this pattern is a takeoff from that one. Are they doing good? Okay, so it's called Seven Starry Sisters. What's your? But I know you're trying. When you guys all go to the desk tomorrow and meet every tree and find David McCuso and tell him this was the best event ever.
That's right.
Okay, don't leave, guys. Don't leave. I'm going to give them the big ones. Okay, going back again to Helen, on that same trip when I went to see her, I was working on the book, and I said, oh, Helen, that top that you have, which is hexagons and diamonds, is outstanding. Oh, man, gotta use that. So I'm thinking to myself, she's not going to let me borrow this quilt. So I spent the night, and in the morning, I go out for breakfast and she's made like homemade blueberry muffins and coffee and whatever. And this is sitting on my chair and it said, enjoy.
Pretty.
There you go. So that's the antique pattern. That one's from about 1940. Again, that's done with bead sacks. And I had to get a machine quilted because I was on this freaking deadline, right? And then here's another model. It's the same pattern, just different colors. You guys are awesome. Yes, she does a good job, doesn't she? The next one that you're going to see, a lot of you are from Pennsylvania. One time I went to a gift show in Valley Forge. There was, you know, all kinds of gifts, not a quilt show, but like home deck and things like that. And I came across this guy who was selling this wonderful blue pottery. You know, it has that insignia on it. He has this is a true story, he has overalls on and flannel shirt, and he's sitting in his chair on the side, and his top was in a basket. So I said, sir, I love your pottery, but I really like that quilt top. Is it for sale? He goes, I guess so. He says, I said, well, how much? He goes, how about $115? So at that point, his wife comes around the corner because she's out to the bathroom. And she says, what's going on, Harold? And he goes, well, I'm just writing this lady a ticket because I just sold that top. And she said, what? And he said, I just sold the top because you said I could sell everything in the booth. And she says, that was for display. I said, it's okay, but I think they were Mennonite, and I understand that when they give their word, you don't go back. So this is what I'm teaching, this is Friday, Sunday morning, and it's called Stars Made Easy. I'm sorry, Stars All, see how I'm get tired? Stars All Around. I'm sorry, so sorry. It's called Stars All Around, and I have pre-cut kits. I'll show that one first. Is that gorgeous? Sometimes you have to just come upon something, and then you pay them, and then you run like heck and put it in your car and put the alarm on, because you know that you got a good deal. And that's the new one. Pardon me? I know, it's on my to-do list. On my to-do list, exactly. This one, again, is from the late 1800s, but you can just see the colors that were chosen are true Pennsylvania. Yeah. And then that's the new one that we did. Well, just mix it up a little bit and show you this one. Yes, ma'am. Yes. Yes, and it's hand quilted, you know what, and I kept keeping with tradition. I have all these little stories in my book also. Well, most of them, not the ones about the airplane and stuff. But I wanted to keep an Amish tradition of quilting it in black. And I said, well, I think I'm a pretty good hand quilter. And then when I'm looking, I'm thinking, well, tighten up, right? But if any of you do hand quilting, it's like osmosis. That's what I'm teaching tomorrow is mark, base, and quilt. And if you don't think your stitches are small, you get a group of women together, and it just, I don't know, God knows how it happens, but you all become smaller and smaller. You know, it just filters through. Or, yeah, a quilting bee or a class. I was just in California a few weeks ago, and these women are like, you know, she said, I never even held a needle, like which end do I put the thing? I said, the one that has the hole on the top. But it just happens. So anyway, this one came from an antique dealer, Cindy's Antique Quilts. She used to do this show. She threw this over her quilts at the end of the show at Road to California last year. And I said, oh my God, that's gorgeous. Oh, that old thing? So, you know, I was there first thing the next morning, and we made a little deal. It's just lovely. And this lady of mine, I had a little bit of money. They're all fussy cut roses.
Isn't that pretty?
Oh,
it's even prettier from that side.
And when I got this, I originally thought I would take the stars all apart because I have acrylic templates, and I would straighten them all out. And I said, no, that's the beauty of it. That's how she made it. Is that beautiful? And it's like that green that was done, which is from the 30s. It's just, it just talks to you. The sad part about this is that someone asked me recently how many quilts I have hanging in my house. Well, you guys all know if you have a Victorian house, it's all doors and windows. So we have two walls. The prior owner put up a mirror in the dining room for that wall, and then there's one wall on the upstairs landing that I do have a quilt on, but I don't have any wall space. It's all doors and windows. Where are you going? Okay, this is a big one. This is a heavy one. I'm glad you're up here. This is hands. It's called The Time of My Hands. And again, it was from the 30s. And that was a top which I got, and then I decided to quilt it with the Baptist fan pattern, so it has that little smooth movement on it. Wow. My only regret is, I don't know what, I must have had a brain fart or something, because that peak border just kills me. What was I thinking? But I wanted to make it a little bit bigger, and that was all that was available years ago when I had it. You guys can see the pattern on the back now, how definite it is. Oops, I'm sorry. And then this is its sister. I'm sorry? Yeah. And this is its sister with Aunt Grace fabric. And that one I decided to keep muslin. To go this one? That took me probably 2 or 3 months. Yeah, because if I'm not traveling, I can quilt like 4 or 5 hours at a time. You get going, you get a little thing. The biggest thing is getting it basted well, that it lays flat. That's what we're going to be doing tomorrow. Once it's flat, you're good to go. That you can pick it up. And I don't use a frame. I got rid of all of my quilting frames. They asked me how long it took me to, you guys heard that question, right, about quilting and so forth. You want it to be really, really flat, and you can pick it up, put it away, carry it around, or whatever. This is my $7 quilt. Its sister didn't fit in my suitcase, but if you get the book, you'll see there's an antique quilt of this pattern, which is Grandmother's Flower Garden. But making this new one, I was down and none of the shops want to cut for you less than a fat quarter, right? So I was in Hancock's, and I'm looking around. They had beautiful fabric, but I didn't want to buy more, fat quarters. I only needed like small packets. So that's what I call it my $7 quilt is. They had these scraps on sale for $7. But you'll see in a second, it cost me $90 because I had to buy the white, and I had to buy the green, and I had to buy the size. And Roland said to me, good choice. I just came in for this bag of scraps. And this is costing me $90. I'm sorry? What? I know. This was really fun to do, and my friend machine quilted that for me. And she also picked out that fabric for the background of like little hexagons. Okay, the last one I want to show you, and this is called Life's Experience, of like learn from the teacher, don't do what she did. I went to an auction years ago. You guys are fabulous. Hold on 1 second. Here's a gift for you. I was at an auction up in Massachusetts, and I found like a men's shirt bag, and inside of it was like all these little hexagons that were cut. And it was a full-size paper pattern with the hexagon, and tells you, full-size paper pattern, which gave you the paper templates, and it was all outlined how many to cut and so forth. And all the pieces were all tagged from this lady with the pins and so forth. Well, it was supposed to be a double bed quilt. True story. So I decided I'm going to put this together, and I'm a pretty good quilter, and I was going on a trip, so I decided that I don't have time to cut fabric on the bias for the binding. It certainly will go around all those hexagons. So I laboriously attached the binding, which was not cut on the bias, all the way around. And when I went to flip it, it was making a really big mess. So I tried 6 ways from Sunday to do it. So my double-sized bed quilt and got cut down until I could get it straight, right? So what are those coverings called in the bed of hotels? Red runners or whatever, right? So my husband comes into the kitchen and he sees me on my hands and knees on the floor with rotary cutters and mats. He goes, "What are you doing? You've spent all summer long piecing this all together because it's all hand-pieced." And I said, "This freaking binding is not going around." So we're going to make it work. I'm just going to square it all up. And so he looked in the garbage and goes, "I can't believe you did that." And I said, "I can't either." Okay, that's it. Did you like it? So, you all know how to play Quilto, that we're going to do vertical, which means if I call something out, you put an M. Q, batting. Q, batting. Q, stars. Q, stars. I, machine. I, machine. T, classes. T, classes. I, collect fabric. I, collect fabric. I, piece. I, piece. You, pin. You, pin. You, Lone Star. You, Lone Star. Are we getting close? L, sets. L, sets. L, ruler. L, ruler. U, whirligig. U, whirligig. Q, houses. Q, houses. L, shows. L, no, L. U, borders. U, borders. Q, blocks. Q, blocks. L, miniatures. L, miniatures. You guys are killing me. Is anybody close? No. Who thought of this game? I, hexagon. I, hexagon. T, castle wall. T, castle wall. U, stitch. U, stitch. I, tools. I, tools. Q, trees. Q, trees. T, lover's knot. T, lover's knot. Q, cotton. Q, cotton. L, log cabin. L, log cabin. L, needle.
Quilto.
Thank God. Keep your hands up. Keep your hands up. L, needle. T, templates. T, templates. I, based. I, based. U, bow tie. U, bow tie. L, seam ripper. L, seam ripper. L,